It's March 15th. You're lying in bed, just on the edge of sleep, that hazy space between the conscious world and the vast unknown of the unconscious. And suddenly, out of nowhere, it hits you. A strange electric feeling, a premonition, an unshakable, deep-seated knowing that something significant, something profound, is just around the corner. You can't explain it, you can't rationalize it with your waking mind. There's no logical reason for it, but you feel it in your bones, in the pit of your stomach, in the quiet whisper of your soul. It's as if an invisible door, one you never even noticed before, is slowly, silently creaking open. It feels like the universe itself is leaning in and whispering, "Get ready. Something big is on its way." And here's the most fascinating, most validating part of all. You are absolutely, positively not alone in feeling this. Right now, in this very moment, millions of people across the globe are feeling it too. A collective shiver running down the spine of humanity. A mass awakening. A psychic wave rippling through the collective unconscious. Carl Jung, the master explorer of the human psyche, wouldn't call this a coincidence. He would call it by its true name, synchronicity. He would say this is the collective unconscious speaking, and it speaks loudest when the time is ripe for transformation. Between March 16th and April 2nd, something truly exceptional is happening. Now, before your mind jumps to astronomical events or mystical prophecies, stop. This isn't about something out there. This isn't about the alignment of distant planets or a rare celestial phenomenon. This is about something in here. This is about you. This is an internal event, a psychological metamorphosis, a window of immense opportunity, a critical turning point in your lifelong journey of what Jung called individuation, the process of becoming your true, whole, authentic self. Today, we aren't just going to talk about this period. We are going to dissect it. I'm going to explain exactly what is happening beneath the surface of your awareness during this powerful window, the undeniable signs you will notice if you just pay attention, and most importantly, the specific actionable steps you must take to harness this energy. Because if you ignore these signs, if you hit the snooze button while your unconscious is desperately trying to wake you up, this opportunity will pass you by. And a window like this, it may not open again for you in the same way. So, if you are ready to stop sleepwalking through your life and start actively participating in your own evolution, comment below right now with 3 powerful words. I am ready. Let the universe and your own deep psyche know that you are paying attention. Welcome back to the path of the self. Let's dive together into the mystery of this extraordinary time. Before I reveal the 3 specific, unmistakable signs that your psyche is in the middle of a profound shift, you need to fundamentally understand why this precise period, March 16th to April 2nd, is so uniquely charged. And I need to be absolutely unequivocally clear from the start. This has nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with conventional astrology. This isn't about your sun sign, your rising sign, or Mercury being in retrograde. It is far deeper, far more psychological, and in a Jungian sense, far more scientific. Through his decades of intense clinical work, his analysis of thousands of patients' dreams and life patterns, and his own fearless exploration of his inner depths, Jung discovered something revolutionary. The human unconscious does not exist in a vacuum. It responds powerfully to collective rhythms, to universal cycles, to archetypal moments in time. It's not just responding to your personal biography, your childhood traumas, or your daily frustrations. It's responding to something much larger, the collective unconscious, that vast, ancient reservoir of shared human experience, symbols and patterns that connects every person who has ever lived, across all cultures and all of time. And this immense collective unconscious has its own cycles. It has waves of intensity, moments when its power surges to the surface, when its archetypes become more active, and when its transformative energy becomes more accessible to us. The dramatic, age-old transition from winter to spring, specifically the critical threshold in the middle of March, precisely between the 16th and the beginning of April, is one of the most powerful collective moments in the entire year. Not because the stars magically align, but because the entire human psyche, for tens of thousands of years of evolutionary history, has been conditioned to react to this exact time. Think about it. Really let this sink in. Our ancestors, for millions of years of biological and psychological evolution, experienced something absolutely critical during this precise moment of the year. The definitive end of the deadly cold, the dangerous darkness of winter, the life-saving return of the nourishing, warming light, the hopeful re-emergence of life after months of stagnation, starvation, and death. This wasn't a casual preference. It was an existential, life-or-death experience. That profound experience is burned into our collective psychic memory. It is coded into our DNA. It is etched into our very archetypes. Jung would say this is the archetype of rebirth activating, the universal pattern of renewal, of transformation, of emerging from the darkness into the light, naturally and powerfully comes alive during this specific time each year. And when a powerful archetype awakens, it opens mysterious doors in the deep unconscious, doors that are normally locked tight. Contents, potentials, and aspects of yourself that are usually completely inaccessible suddenly become reachable. Transformations that would normally take years of patient therapeutic work can happen in days, sometimes in a single, lucid moment. But here's the critical, the crucial, the tragic part. Not everyone notices it. Most people in our modern, distracted, fast-paced world live completely disconnected from their inner world. They are numb, blind, and deaf to the powerful signals of their own psyche. They might feel a vague restlessness, a strange, inexplicable energy, a mysterious sense of anticipation, but they don't understand what it means. They dismiss it as stress, or the weather, or just a weird mood. They immediately distract themselves with work, with social media, with entertainment, and the precious, rare opportunity passes by, unused, unrecognized, wasted. But you are different. You are here, right now, in this moment. You are listening. You are willing to be attentive, to be present. That is the first, most important step. So, let's get to the signs. Here are the 3 undeniable, powerful indicators that something extraordinary is happening within you, that your individuation is calling your name. The first and psychologically most powerful, most diagnostic sign is this. Your nightly dreams suddenly become dramatically more intense. Out of nowhere, without any obvious external reason, your dreams become more vivid, more colorful, more emotional, more symbolic, and more urgent. You wake up and you remember details, scenes, and symbols that would normally fade into mist the second your eyes open. You might wake up multiple times during the night with the clear, unshakable feeling that the dream was trying to tell you something vitally important, even if you don't yet understand the precise message. Jung taught with absolute conviction, based on decades of dream analysis, that dreams are not random. They are not meaningless neural firings. They are the direct, unfiltered language of the unconscious. They are the primary way the unconscious communicates with the conscious ego. When the unconscious has something critically important to say, when it has an urgent message to deliver, it systematically intensifies the dreams. It makes them louder, more powerful, and more memorable. It's as if it's turning up the volume, desperately trying to pierce through the noise of your daily life and get your attention. And this is exactly what happens during this archetypal window between March 16th and April 2nd. Now, let me take you deeper into the specific imagery you might encounter, because the symbols themselves are the vocabulary of your soul. Perhaps you will dream repeatedly of water, mighty rivers, endless oceans, torrential rain, floods, tsunamis. This is no random brain activity. Water, in Jungian symbolism, is the universal symbol for the unconscious itself. It represents the psyche, the emotions, the hidden depths. When water appears powerfully in your dreams, especially in overwhelming quantities, it means the unconscious is surging up to the surface. It wants to be seen. It wants to be heard. It will no longer be ignored. But pay attention to the quality of the water. Is it calm and clear like a mountain lake? That suggests a peaceful integration, a clarity coming to your emotions. Is it turbulent, dark, and stormy? That indicates that what is rising may be painful, chaotic, but no less necessary for your growth. Is it a flood destroying everything in its path? That can feel terrifying. But symbolically, a flood often precedes a new creation, a cleansing of the old to make way for the new. The unconscious doesn't destroy for the sake of destruction. It destroys to clear ground. Perhaps you will dream repeatedly of houses or buildings. Pay close attention if you dream of mysterious new rooms in a familiar house or hidden doors that suddenly swing open. Jung interpreted houses as powerful symbols of the self, of the entire psyche. To consciously discover new, unknown rooms means you are discovering new, previously hidden aspects of your own complex personality. You are uncovering potentials, abilities, and parts of yourself that have been lying in the psychic dark, undeveloped and unrecognized. This is individuation in action. But consider the condition of these rooms. Are they dusty and forgotten, as if no one has entered for decades? These are the parts of you you've neglected since childhood. Are they modern and filled with light? These are new potentials you are just now ready to access. Are there rooms you are afraid to enter? That fear tells you exactly where your next growth must occur. The house of the self is infinite, and you have only explored a fraction of its corridors. Perhaps you will dream of being pursued, of fleeing in terror from something dark, menacing, and unknown. Before you feel afraid, understand this. This is very likely your shadow. That repressed part of your psyche that holds all the things you don't want to admit about yourself. Your anger, your jealousy, your ambition, your sensuality, your weaknesses. Jung taught that when the shadow appears intensely in dreams, especially in a pursuing role, it means it is ready to be integrated. It's not chasing you to terrorize you. It's chasing you because it desperately wants to be a part of you. It wants to be accepted, acknowledged, and brought into the light of your consciousness. The shadow is not evil. It is simply the part of you that you have deemed unacceptable. And a part of you that is denied consciousness becomes destructive. The only way to make it your ally is to turn around, face it, and ask, "What do you want? What are you trying to tell me?" In that moment of conscious confrontation, the terrifying pursuer often transforms into a source of incredible power and wisdom. Or perhaps you will dream of people who have died, old friends, lost loves, parents, grandparents, appearing as if they were alive again, speaking to you, interacting with you. These are not just nostalgic memories. Jung would say these figures represent aspects of your own psyche that have died, that you have given up on or repressed. Their sudden reappearance in this potent time means it is time to revive these lost parts. It is time to reintegrate them into your conscious life. If you dream of a deceased parent, ask yourself, what quality did that parent embody that you have lost touch with? Was it their strength, their compassion, their creativity, their stubbornness? That quality is alive in you, and it is knocking on the door of your consciousness, asking to be lived again. Let me tell you a powerful true story to illustrate this. A patient came to me right in the middle of March, deeply agitated and confused. She told me, through tears, that she had had the same intense, symbolic dream 3 nights in a row. In the dream, she was standing alone in front of a massive, locked wooden door in an old, mysterious house she had never seen before. Each night, she knocked desperately on the heavy door, over and over. But no one answered. No one opened. In the 3rd night, something shifted. The door suddenly swung open by itself, without her even touching it. Behind it was a room filled with a blinding, radiant, golden light that permeated everything. She woke up sobbing, but not from fear, from a sense of homecoming, of recognition. This is a perfect textbook example of the powerful archetypal symbolism of this transformative time. The locked door is the blocked unconscious, the blocked access to her own psyche. The desperate knocking is her conscious, urgent desire for change, for healing. The mysterious opening of the door by itself is the moment where the unconscious finally responds, opens up, and becomes accessible. And that radiant golden light, that is the self, Jung's central concept for the deepest, truest, most divine essence of our being. In that moment, her psyche was showing her that the wholeness she sought was not outside her, but behind a door within her own soul, a door that was now opening. So, when your dreams intensify in these coming days, Write them down, immediately upon waking, before they fade like morning mist. Keep a journal and a pen right next to your bed. Don't reach for your phone. Don't let the distractions of the day invade that sacred space. Write in stream of consciousness, even if it doesn't make sense. Record every image, every feeling, every color, every word spoken. Don't overanalyze them with your rational mind. Don't try to crack them like a code. Feel them. Sit with them. What is the primary emotion left behind? Fear, hope, curiosity, peace, excitement, dread, longing. That emotion is the golden key. It points directly to what the unconscious is communicating. The emotion is the compass. The images are the map. And here is something powerful you can do right now. You can actively work with these symbols. This is a technique Jung himself used and taught. Before you fall asleep, if you've noticed a recurring symbol, water, a door, a specific person, an animal, visualize it consciously. Hold it in your mind's eye. Breathe into it. Let it become as real as possible. Then, ask it direct questions. Not with your thinking mind, but with your feeling mind. What do you want to show me? What am I supposed to understand? What do you need from me? Why have you come now? Then simply wait. Be open. You may not get an answer in words. You may get a feeling, a shift in the image, a new scene. The unconscious, Jung promised, will answer. It wants to be in dialogue with you. In the next night's dream, the message will be clearer. The dialogue deepens. You are no longer just a passive recipient of dreams. You are an active participant in the conversation with your own soul. The second unmistakable sign is this. Synchronicities will begin to pile up in your daily life in a dramatic and noticeable way. Meaningful coincidences, mysterious coincidences, events that have no rational causal connection, but are deeply symbolically connected in terms of their meaning. And in this window between March 16th and April 2nd, the boundary between inner and outer becomes so thin that these synchronicities can feel almost magical, almost overwhelming. Jung defined synchronicity as the simultaneous occurrence of two or more events that are not causally linked, but are connected by meaning. It sounds abstract, so let me give you concrete examples you will instantly recognize, examples that will help you spot them in your own life. You think intensely, obsessively, about a specific person you haven't seen or heard from in years. Maybe it's a first love, an old friend, someone you lost touch with. You wonder how they are, what they're doing. 10 minutes later, out of the blue, that exact person calls you, texts you, or you run into them on the street. Coincidence? Most rational people would say yes. Jung would say, absolutely not. That is classic synchronicity. The unconscious arranging the outer world to mirror the inner one. But the key question is, why this person? Why now? What do they represent? What unresolved energy or message do they carry? The synchronicity is not just a sign. It's an invitation to explore that connection. Or you have a burning question, a complex problem that is tormenting you. You have no idea what to do, which path to take. You've analyzed it from every angle, and you're stuck. You're walking through a bookstore, perhaps aimlessly, perhaps drawn there without knowing why. A book inexplicably falls off a shelf at your feet. You pick it up, open it to a random page, and the very first sentence you read answers your question directly, precisely, as if it were written for that exact moment. Coincidence? No. Synchronicity. But you have to be present enough to notice it. You have to be open to the possibility that the answer can come from anywhere. Or perhaps you're driving, and a song comes on the radio, a song you haven't heard in 20 years. And the lyrics speak directly to a situation you're dealing with right now, as if the songwriter knew your life. Or you keep seeing the same number everywhere, 111, 222, 333, on clocks, on license plates, on receipts. These are not just random patterns your brain is imposing on chaos. They are the universe, your unconscious, tapping you on the shoulder, saying, pay attention, you are on the right track, you are aligned. These mysterious coincidences are happening all the time, but most people are too distracted to notice them. They rationalize them away. Oh, that's just chance. Oh, that's just probability. But in certain critical phases of our psychic life, especially when transformation is imminent, they increase dramatically. Between March 16th and April 2nd is exactly such a phase. It is a window of heightened synchronicity. If you are present and aware, you will see it. The world will begin to feel like a dream, like a mirror reflecting your inner state. Numbers that repeat everywhere. 1111, 222, your birth date. Names that keep popping up in conversations, on signs, in books. Songs with relevant lyrics that play at the exact right moment. Encounters with people who have the exact information you need. Animals that cross your path in meaningful ways. A hawk when you need courage. A spider when you need to weave something new. A dog when you need loyalty or companionship. Why? How does this happen? Jung believed that in moments of psychic intensity, the normally firm boundary between inner and outer, between psyche and world, becomes thinner, more permeable. Your active unconscious isn't just communicating through dreams. It begins to arrange outer events to send you messages, to guide you, to give you answers. It's as if the world around you temporarily becomes a living mirror of your deepest self. This is not superstition. This is a profound psychological truth. The psyche and the world are not as separate as we think. They are two expressions of a deeper unity, what Jung called the unus mundus, the one world. I had a patient who was paralyzed by a decision in mid-March. Should he leave his stable, soul-crushing job to pursue his true passion? He was tormented. He had a family to support. It seemed insane to risk everything. One morning he went for a walk, lost in thought, praying for a sign. He stopped to watch a bird on a branch. The bird kept trying to take off, but each time it would lose its nerve and fall back. It tried 6 times and failed. On the 7th attempt, the bird finally launched itself into the air and soared. In that moment, my patient knew. It wasn't a logical thought. It was a deep, visceral knowing that bypassed his mind and went straight to his gut. That was his answer. He quit his job the next day. Years later, he calls it the best decision of his life. That was synchronicity. The outer world, that bird, mirrored his inner struggle and showed him the way. So, when you notice these coincidences, don't ignore them. Don't dismiss them. Write them down in a journal dedicated to synchronicities. What was the event? What was your inner state at the time? What question was on your mind? What were you feeling? The synchronicity is an answer. It may not be an answer in words, but it is an answer in meaning. And the key is, you can't force them. You can't demand a sign. But you can open yourself to them through attention, through presence, through the willingness to believe that your soul is speaking to you through the world. Jung said, synchronicity is the language of the soul. Between March 16th and April 2nd, your soul is speaking louder than ever. Are you listening? Are you watching? Are you awake? The third, and perhaps the most personal and powerful sign, is this. Your inner voice becomes dramatically louder, clearer, and more insistent. You know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've never named it. That quiet but persistent inner voice that sometimes whispers, sometimes shouts, sometimes screams. The voice that tells you what you really want, who you really are, what you should really do. The voice you have ignored for years, drowned out with distractions, rationalized away with logic, suppressed with fear and doubt. During this specific psychic window, it becomes undeniable. It will no longer be silenced. It speaks up in quiet moments, when you're driving alone, when you're falling asleep, when you're in the shower. It pierces through your distracted thoughts during work, cutting through the noise with a clarity that stops you in your tracks. It wakes you in the middle of the night with a message, a realization, a truth that is both terrifying and liberating. Jung called this voice the self, not the ego, not your social persona, not the mask you wear for the world, but your deepest, truest, most authentic being. The self is the God within you, the image of wholeness that you are destined to become. And the self, Jung emphasized, does not speak the language of cool logic. It does not give you pros and cons lists. It does not argue. It speaks the language of inner certainty, of unshakable truth, of powerful intuition that feels like it comes from somewhere far beyond your little ego. When the self speaks, there are no arguments. There is no debate. There is just a deep physical knowing that resonates in your chest, in your gut, in your bones. This is right. This is true. This I must do. Even if it makes no sense. Even if everyone tells you you're crazy. Even if you're terrified. Maybe your inner voice is telling you, clearly and relentlessly, this relationship is over. You know it. Stop fighting. Stop pretending. Let go. Maybe it's telling you, with love but firmness, you are meant for something bigger. Stop making yourself small to please others. Stop hiding your light. Show up. Take the risk. Speak your truth. Maybe it's whispering, with healing intent. It's time to forgive. Not for them, but for you. It's time to let go of that old pain that you've been carrying for years. It's time to heal the wound that has been festering in the dark. Maybe it's telling you to move, to change careers, to start that creative project, to end that friendship, to reach out to someone you've wronged. Whatever it says, it will most likely be uncomfortable. It will challenge you. It will scare you, because the self always demands growth, change, and transformation. It asks you to leave your comfort zone, to venture into the unknown territory of your own potential. The ego hates this. The ego wants safety, control, predictability, and the status quo. The ego wants to keep you small and safe. This is why the internal conflict between ego and self becomes so intense during this time. You will feel torn. You will feel pulled in two directions. You will want to listen, and you will want to run away and hide. This inner battle is the very crucible of transformation. A patient of mine experienced this with devastating clarity. In mid-March, she woke up every morning with the same clear realization, as if a voice had spoken it into her mind while she slept. You have to leave this city. This is not your place. You are dying here. Her entire rational mind rebelled. She had a good job with a steady income. She had friends. Her family lived nearby. She had an apartment she loved. It made absolutely no sense to leave. There was no logical reason. But the voice got louder every day. It got to the point where she couldn't sleep, couldn't concentrate, couldn't function. The anxiety of staying became greater than the fear of leaving. She had to make a choice. Trust the voice, or keep ignoring it and risk breaking down completely. She chose to trust. She quit her job, gave up her apartment, packed her things into her car, and moved to a city she had always been drawn to, but could never rationally explain why. Within 3 months, she found her true calling, a line of work she had never even considered, but that fit her perfectly. She met people who became her soul family, who changed her life in ways she couldn't have imagined. For the first time in her adult life, she felt like she was exactly where she belonged, doing exactly what she was meant to do. The self knew. She just had to listen. She just had to trust the voice that logic told her to ignore. So, when your inner voice speaks in these coming days, listen. Not with your head, but with your heart, with your gut, with the part of you that knows, without knowing how it knows. Here is an exercise Jung himself recommended to his patients, a simple but profound practice. Sit in a quiet room where you will not be disturbed. Turn off your phone, close the door. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. Let the world fall away. Then, when you feel centered and calm, ask aloud, what do I really want? Not what should I want? Not what do others want for me? What do I, in the deepest core of my being, truly want? Then be completely still. Listen. Don't think. Don't analyze. Just listen. The first answer that comes, not the second, not the third, not the one your ego edits and approves, but the very first impulse, the first feeling, the first word that arises, that is the voice of the self. Trust it. It may not make sense. It may terrify you. But it is true. And truth, lived, is the only path to freedom. Now you know the 3 powerful signs: more intense and symbolic dreams, more frequent and meaningful synchronicities, a louder and clearer inner voice. If you experience even one of these in the coming days, Know with absolute psychological certainty that something extraordinary is happening. Your unconscious is active. Transformation is underway. The individuation process is accelerating. You are being called to a deeper life. But here is the critical question that determines everything. What are you going to do about it? Passively recognizing these signs is only the first step. It is the beginning, not the end. The second, far more important step is to act. And this is where most people tragically fail. They see the signs. They feel the energy. They are moved, inspired, even shaken. And then they do nothing. They return to their safe, familiar routines, their comfortable distractions, their habitual ways of thinking and being. They close the door that just opened, and the opportunity is wasted. Jung warned about this relentlessly, with the urgency of a physician who had seen the consequences too many times. If the unconscious calls and you consciously ignore it, if you refuse the transformation it offers, it will not simply go away. It will not give up. It will find another way. It will eventually force the transformation through crisis, through illness, through depression, through anxiety attacks, through psychosomatic symptoms, through dramatic life events that shatter your comfort zone and leave you no choice. The unconscious will not be ignored. It is the ground of your being. It is life itself, seeking to live more fully through you. It will find a way to be integrated, either the easy way through conscious cooperation, or the hard way through breakdown and chaos. The choice is yours. But make no mistake, a choice is being made every day you ignore the call. So what must you do? How do you cooperate with this energy? How do you ensure that this window does not close without you walking through it? Here are 3 concrete, actionable steps you can take starting right now. First, document everything. This is not optional. This is essential. Keep a dedicated dream journal right next to your bed. Not a digital note on your phone, but a physical notebook and pen. The act of writing by hand engages a different part of your brain, a deeper part. Write down your dreams immediately upon waking, before they fade. Don't judge them, don't edit them, just capture them. Also, keep a separate journal for synchronicities. Throughout the day, when you notice a meaningful coincidence, write it down. What happened? What were you thinking or feeling at the time? What question was in your mind? And finally, write down what your inner voice tells you. Capture those moments of clarity, those sudden knowings, those intuitive hits. Make your psychic experiences tangible, visible, concrete. This simple act of writing does something profound. It signals to your unconscious, in its own language, I am listening. I take you seriously. I respect your messages. I am paying attention. This strengthens the connection. It deepens the dialogue. It tells the deeper self that you are ready for more. Second, act symbolically. This is where the rubber meets the road. If your inner voice gives you a message, if a dream reveals a truth, if a synchronicity points you in a direction, do something concrete to honor it. It does not have to be a massive, life-changing leap. In fact, it's often better if it's not. A small, intentional, symbolic act is incredibly powerful. The unconscious understands symbolism because it is the language it speaks. When you act symbolically, you are answering in its own tongue. If the voice says, let go of the past, find a physical object that represents that past, a letter, a photograph, a piece of clothing, and consciously, ritually let it go. Burn it, bury it, throw it into a river. If the voice says, start something new, take one small step in that direction today. Write the first page, make the first phone call, buy the first supply. If the voice says, forgive, write a letter you will never send, expressing everything you need to express, and then destroy it as a symbolic act of release. These small actions are not trivial. They are powerful communications to your own psyche. They say, I heard you. I am responding. I am in this with you. Third, be patient and compassionate with yourself. This is perhaps the most difficult step of all. We live in a culture of instant gratification. We want results now. But true, lasting psychological transformation does not happen overnight. It does not happen in a dramatic Hollywood-style breakthrough. It happens slowly, incrementally, like the changing of the seasons. These 18 days, from March 16th to April 2nd, are a powerful opening, a catalyst, a window of heightened energy and awareness. But they are not the entire journey. They are the beginning. The real work of individuation, of becoming whole, continues for a lifetime. There will be setbacks. There will be periods of doubt and confusion. There will be moments when you feel you are going backward. This is normal. This is the path. Be gentle with yourself. Treat yourself with the same compassion you would offer a dear friend who is struggling. But also be consistent. Keep showing up. Keep journaling. Keep listening. Keep acting symbolically. The foundation you lay in these 18 days will determine the entire trajectory of your journey. If you lay it well, with attention and intention, everything that follows will flow more naturally. You have opened the door. Now you must walk through it, one step at a time. And one final, crucial warning. I must say this with utmost seriousness. Never ever confuse true intuition, the voice of the self, with impulsive reactivity. They can feel similar in the moment, but they are fundamentally different. The true self always speaks with a deep sense of inner peace and certainty, even if the message is challenging, even if it demands difficult change. There is a quality of stillness, of groundedness, of rightness that accompanies it. It does not panic. It does not scream. It does not demand immediate action born of fear. It is patient. It waits. Impulsivity, on the other hand, comes from fear. It comes from a wounded, reactive ego. It feels urgent, desperate, chaotic. It says, I have to do something, anything, right now. It is driven by anxiety, not by peace. Learn to feel the difference. Sit with the impulse. Breathe into it. Ask yourself, does this come from a place of calm knowing or from a place of frantic escape? The answer will tell you everything. Comment now. Let me know you are ready. Type it in the comments below. I see the signs. I am ready to act. Let your voice be counted among those who are awake, who are answering the call. Drop a like if you feel the power of this time, if you sense the shift happening within you. Subscribe to The Path of the Self for more deep wisdom from Carl Jung and the depth psychology tradition. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next step on this journey. We are walking this path together, each of us alone in our own experience, but connected through the collective unconscious, through the shared symbols and struggles of becoming whole. The signs are all around you. They are within you. The unconscious is calling your name, clearly, persistently, lovingly. Transformation is waiting for your answer. The door is open. The light is shining through. The question is not whether you are ready. The question is, are you willing? Are you willing to walk through? The choice, as always, is yours. And it is the most important choice you will ever make.